Everybody, I'm Mega Ruler 31 back for F-Side DFS. I am here to break down the main slate, 8 games for MLB for 9/11. Spent the morning watching some of the recaps on the news. So if any of you watching out there are first responders or have first responders in your family, just thank you so much for everything that you do, the bravery you show every single day. Um, I just really, really appreciate it, especially, 20 years later, we'll never forget what happened that day. And hopefully, for the rest of our lives, we can share it with the future generations. So they're the brave acts of those people and the tragic lives lost will never be forgotten. But anyways, on to baseball now. 8 games. I've got DK up here. I know there's a lot going on this weekend. There's college football, there's 2 NASCAR races, you're getting your NFL rosters ready. So MLB might take a backseat. So I'm not going to take too much of your time here and go through every single game. I'm just going to quickly talk about some of the pitchers, some of the stacks, do a quick lineup build for you and send you on your way. So Garcia is the top pitcher here price wise. I'm a little weary on him. Angels aren't really threatening. I just look at him recently. He had 130-point game. So maybe perhaps he's a better home pitcher than road pitcher. Sometimes that happens with pitchers, but there's clear difference between the 4 games on the road. Did face the Angels on the road, had about 16 DK points. Ks are there, just going a little bit, but giving up about 2 to 3 earned runs, except for that Kansas City game. So again, the Angels don't really scare you. They do have some strikeouts at the bottom of the lineup. I think he's just a little bit too expensive. If you want to play him, I don't hate it, but I'm not going there. Cisse, I'm also out on against Boston. Not really interested. I know he's had a good run here, but today I just really don't think. I think Boston's going to get to him. So out of all the 4 of them, I think that these top 4 pitchers, I think he'd be number 4 on my list. I think he's going to be popular, and I think there's going to be good win equity because Boston Sale, I believe, is on the COVID list, so they're starting some AAA guys. So it's a good chance for him to have a win. And I think the bats are going to do very, very well. They're my favorite stack of the day, but I'm not on him for the pitcher. Buehler, same thing, struggled recently, had a negative there. Don't count this game. I think he was like pushed back a start or something like that. 18. I mean, he's had some 20s and been decent. Just faced San Diego. So if he can get back into form, I think he's good. I just start to worry. I know they're in a pretty tight race, so it's not like Milwaukee's who's on cruise control. They still have to go out there, but all these pitchers usually have a short leash. Buehler, I think, has the longest one of the Dodgers, but they've got a great bullpen behind him. So and San Diego still is a decent offense. So I think, he would be my second favorite. I think I'd go Garcia first, just being at home. Hopefully it clicks in. Actually, no, Castillo is the one that I'm going to put first here. Just looking at him against St. Louis really doesn't have too much pop. He has been consistently in the 20s and the 19s, just faced St. Louis 19.3. Ks are up there 7 or 8. I think he's got the most K upside there. So ranking the top pitchers, I'm going Castillo, I'm going Garcia, I'm going Buehler, I'm going Cisse. Kluber comes in here, but he really hasn't gone too deep since he's come back. I think, he might be popular, but only 3.2 for 3 innings. Well, actually the 3 innings was back in May. So is he getting stretched out? Potentially. It's a good pitching environment. And here's something I just want to say about this game. I'm probably going to play Kluber in the lineup for GPP. I'm probably going to play Walker in the lineup for GPP. I'm going to stack the Yankees in the Kluber lineup. I'm going to stack the Mets in the Walker lineup because being 9/11, with all that's going on in the city, I just feel that there's something special is going to come out of this game. That one of the teams or one of the players is going to rise to the occasion. I'm not saying that either one's going to throw a complete game shutout or a perfect game or anything like that, but I do think, sometimes when the narrative is so heavy that even you throw out the records, you throw out the conditions, and special things sometimes happen in these games. So I'm going to try to catch lightning in a bottle, and I'm going to have a Yankee stack with Kluber. I'm going to have a Met stack with Walker in a GPP, and I'm going to enjoy the game and see what happens. Flexen, I'm not too interested in. I think he's a GPP option. Charlie Morton, I think, is probably the best pitching play on the slate here. So my lineups are going to start with, I'll just lock them in right now, Castillo and Morton. Paddock, Paddock, I'm not interested in. I think that he's a fade for me. Suarez might be one of the worst pitchers on the slate here next to the Boston starting situation. Hernandez is interesting. Again, don't know how deep he goes. Young pitcher. Marlins are trying to save these guys. Braves have good offense. McClose is an average pitcher against a decent Cincinnati lineup. I'd rather the game be in Cincinnati. I mean, that kind of helps him, but I don't think you need that there. Singer, I think, makes some sense against Minnesota. I think you can save here. He's been okay recently, actually against some decent teams, has put up, at, if you're looking at 6K and you get something in like 15 to 17, put up a really good game against the White Sox there. So, he's throwing some stinkers in there, but just looking through, he's got a lot of Minnesota. I mean, he had 6 there, but he still had 4 strikeouts, gave up 5 runs. But recently, he seems like he's in good form. So if you need somebody really, really low, I think he's viable. Pineda on the other side, I don't know if I trust him. I think he might be it's just like every other game. So if, and I don't even see like a home splits advantage there. So I'm not super interested in. He really hasn't gone that deep in the last couple of games. So I don't know if he's stretched out enough to actually, so he's a fade for me. Like I said, I'm not playing Suarez. I'm not playing Paddock. I'm not playing Arizona is in a COVID situation too. So Castellanos is getting a spot start there. Not interested in him, not interested in Seaball. So the 2 favorite teams for stacking today are going to be Seattle and the White Sox. I think you can play Houston. I think they make sense against Suarez, who's a bad pitcher. But the White Sox are definitely my favorite stack. Also in cash, you could consider Atlanta and Minnesota if you're not playing Singer. And then for GPP, I think the Dodgers, Cincinnati, Boston, and like I said, New York Yankees and New York Mets make a lot of sense too. But I'm going to be on the White Sox and Seattle. So let me filter to those teams and we'll build a lineup and then get you on your way for your day. So there's the White Sox, and Seattle is probably the last game. There we go. Okay, so if we look at catcher, Grandal or Torrance, I think either one is a good play here. You're going to have to pay up for them. But if you want to punt catcher and move up at a different position, that's fine. So we're not going to lock in a catcher there, but just know that either one of those 2 I'm okay with. Here, France and Abreu are the same price. I think I'm going to favor Abreu here, but I think, France is okay. Also, Seager is super, super high here. If you go and punt catcher, you can probably get him in, but I'm going to go Makata here. Switch hitter like that. I think that he's where I want to go there. Here we have, I think Crawford makes the most sense out of the shortstops. And then Roberts, Haniger, Jimenez, if they start, I think that gives you a pretty good start there. You have 4 White Sox bats. So decide if you want to pay up for Grandal. You'll have about 2-2 here to punt for a second baseman. You'll probably easy to find somebody there. If you want to take and go down on outfield and then move up on second base, that works also. If you want to get Seager in, then just punt these 2 positions. That should work also. But this is pretty much the skeleton of what I'm looking at in my cash builds. And like I said, in GPP, New York. I think something special is going to happen there today. So appreciate you guys watching. Check out all our videos that we have there. We've got college football, we've got NASCAR, NFL stuff to get you ready for tomorrow. And check back tomorrow because I think there's a lot of leverage in playing tomorrow's slate for MLB. I think everybody's focus will be on football, and they'll be trying to get the lock in there, and then they'll have 5 minutes to switch over to baseball. And I think it'll be a good opportunity to catch some overlays. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. I'm Mega Ruler 31. Reach out to me on Twitter at Mega Ruler 31. Put some comments below, and we'll get back to you and see what we can do to help you. If not, have a good weekend.